At 10 o'clock at night on the 8th of September, a blue van was parked outside Skeptic Tower. 20 minutes later, the van exploded, shattering every window for half a square mile. At the precise moment the van exploded, Edgar yelled, "Van Bawalawa Biki Biki Biki!" He was found unhurt by firemen in his bathtub on the 145th floor. It had been a near thing. Edgar, still in his bathtub, shaped like a question mark, was carried out of the damaged tower by 6 firemen, 2 of whom Edgar noticed wore "I've put my money where my metaphysics are" badges. Repair work on Skeptic Tower was started the next day, and by the end of the week it was as if the whole thing hadn't happened. Religious leaders all over the world continued to voice their opposition to metaphysical betting. The Dutch Reformed Church said Scepticism Inc.'s unacceptable and un-Christian activities had to be stopped immediately by whatever means. Shiite Muslim clerics burned effigies of Edgar in the streets of Tehran and Bradford, and the Seventh-day Adventists called metaphysical betting the pastime of imbeciles. Edgar agreed wholeheartedly with the Seventh-day Adventists. Despite the widespread opposition of religious leaders to Scepticism Inc., nuts all over the world kept on betting like crazy. They couldn't help themselves. They would sneak off to betting shops and hand over their money time and time again. The number of MBOs reported rose steadily, and Metaphysical Betting Anonymous became the largest self-help organization in the world. On the 10th of September, the Vatican switched off its electricity. Pope Ingram denied that this had anything to do with Scepticism Inc. "We think the candles are holier, that's all," he told reporters in the dark. On the 11th of September, amid very tight security, Edgar took myself and the other students from Who Knows College to see St. Paul's Cathedral jam-packed with cardboard boxes containing metaphysical betting receipts. "But Edgar," I said after I'd been carried up the 259 steps to the Whispering Gallery, "there's nothing to see. The dome, the frescoes, everything's hidden behind the boxes." "Isn't it fantastic?" Edgar said, his voice full of emotion as he slapped the cardboard boxes that filled the second largest dome in the world. With all the boxes to be heard on the other side of the Whispering Gallery, you had to shout. On the same day that Edgar showed us around St. Paul's, the Church of the New Jerusalem was declared bankrupt as a result of metaphysical betting. 2 days later, the Christadelphians folded as well. A week later, and the Scientologists had outbet themselves. They were followed by the Seventh-day Adventists, who had only recently declared metaphysical betting to be the pastime of imbeciles. The Yoruba religion of Nigeria, a branch of Voodoo in Haiti, and the Disciples of Christ, whose origins went back to the 18th century. Zen Buddhists officially banned, and at the same time officially encouraged, metaphysical betting. Sikh Granthas and Hindu holy men added their voices to the protest against Scepticism Inc. They said only fools would place metaphysical bets, and they were probably right. The Krishna Consciousness Movement stated in a press release that people should chant all the time rather than bet. 2 days later, the Krishna Consciousness Movement stopped chanting for good. Edgar wrote the name down in his little black book. Twice. Sophia Alderson insisted that the world had to beg, not bet. If people went on betting, she warned, mankind would be terribly punished by the all-forgiving God. She believed this with all her nutty, beautiful heart. Every day the Virgin Mother reminded her what was at stake if Edgar was not stopped. Sophia issued statement after statement, press release after press release, condemning metaphysical betting. On the chat shows she appeared on, she refused to talk about anything else. She said that people had to stop betting immediately, that God didn't like being made a fool of. Who knows? Sophia's warnings, like the warnings of all the other religious leaders, seemed to fall on deaf ears, for all over the planet millions and millions of religious nuts kept on handing over, with wild abandon, totally unbelievable sums of money in support of their metaphysical views. It simply can't last, Sophia said. God was at the end of his tether. Edgar lectured to us on all manner of things. He told us about his guessing hypothesis, how no metaphysical assertion was any better than any other, that there exists an all-powerful being outside of time and space was no more likely than there exists outside space and time a ponderous haddock. Anything could be out there. The universe may be shaped like a giant vagina for all we know. The priest, the metaphysician, stands in his pulpit and tells us what's going on, when in fact he's just guessing or, even worse, repeating someone else's guesses. These guesses aren't even educated guesses, they can't be. The metaphysician doesn't know what the hell he is talking about. Religion is just a series of utterly blind guesses, that is to say, religion is bullshit. Edgar paused so that we could write down what he had said. Given my ZEM 12,000 Nexus memory system, I didn't need to. Do you have any idea how many nuts have declared themselves to be God's messenger? Have you? It's utterly breathtaking. Do you know how many denominations there are in Christianity alone? Over 22,000. Each one claiming it alone is mumbling on about the truth. What a fucking joke. Edgar said there was a Messiah born every minute.